High IQ does not always look like fast answers, grades, or effortless confidence. Sometimes, high IQ appears in habits that help the brain organize information, solve problems, and guide itself through complexity. One of those habits is talking to yourself. You may do it while searching for something, preparing for a difficult conversation, planning your day, or solving a problem. Speaking thoughts aloud can turn vague ideas into a clearer sequence that is easier to follow. Psychologists often describe this as self-directed speech, a form of language used to guide attention, memory, and action. It can help you break a task into steps, remind yourself what matters, and stay focused when your mind feels scattered. But self-talk is not automatically proof of exceptional intelligence. It can also include encouragement, emotional regulation, or repetitive negative thinking. The important difference is whether your inner dialogue helps you move forward or keeps you trapped. Subscribe to Thalvin Psychology for insights into human behavior. Overthinking can look like intelligence, but it can also be anxiety wearing the mask of analysis. You may replay conversations, question decisions, and imagine possible outcomes before taking action. Sometimes this reflects metacognition, the ability to observe and evaluate your thinking. It can also become productive reflection when it helps you notice patterns, correct mistakes, or make a decision. But when the same thoughts repeat without creating insight, the process becomes rumination. Rumination does not move you toward understanding. It keeps your mind circling the same fear. That is why thinking deeply should not automatically be treated as proof of high intelligence. The real question is whether your thoughts create perspective, direction, and action. If they help you understand more and respond better, they are serving you. If they only return you to the same worry, your mind may need rest rather than more analysis. Some people lose interest quickly when a task becomes repetitive, predictable, or too easy. Their attention may return when they can explore, solve a problem, or learn something unfamiliar. This can reflect a need for cognitive stimulation, novelty, challenge, or a sense of meaning. A mind that enjoys complexity may struggle to stay engaged when nothing new is happening. But boredom is not automatic evidence of high intelligence. It can also come from exhaustion, poor sleep, attention difficulties, stress, or an environment that does not fit the person. That is why saying, "you get bored because you are too smart," is too simple. The better question is, what kind of stimulation helps you become focused? If challenge restores your energy, your brain may be searching for depth. If everything feels dull, the real issue may be fatigue rather than intelligence. Self-doubt can grow when you understand enough to see how complicated a subject is. The deeper people learn, the more aware they become of missing information, uncertainty, and mistakes. This can reflect intellectual humility, which means recognizing the limits of knowledge. It differs from imposter feelings, where success feels undeserved, and from low self-worth, where someone judges their overall value negatively. Healthy doubt can be useful because it encourages checking evidence, reconsidering assumptions, and correcting errors before making a claim. But the Dunning-Kruger effect should not be reduced to the idea that uninformed people are always confident while intelligent people always doubt themselves. Reality is more complex. Some uncertainty protects judgment, but excessive doubt can become paralyzing. A capable person may keep revising, waiting, or seeking perfect certainty until action feels impossible. Wisdom includes knowing when to question yourself and when the available evidence is strong enough to move forward. Some people feel clearer or more creative at night because the world becomes quieter and less demanding. Their phones stop buzzing, conversations fade, and interruptions fade. Part of this may relate to chronotype, the tendency to feel alert in the morning or evening. Another part may come from reduced interruption and cognitive quiet, which allow thoughts to move more freely. The appeal may not be darkness itself, but the feeling that nobody needs anything from them. However, staying up late is not proof of higher intelligence, and chronic sleep loss can weaken memory, mood, and concentration. Some people do not need nighttime to think well. They need a protected period when the world stops competing for their attention. The healthiest goal is not to stay awake longer, but to create quiet time without sacrificing the sleep the brain still needs. Some people notice sounds that others barely register. such as ticking clocks, breathing, movement, or faint hums. This heightened awareness can help them detect details, but it can also make concentration harder. The issue is not always stronger perception alone. Sometimes the brain is less effective at filtering information irrelevant to the current task. Noise sensitivity can increase during stress, sleep deprivation, anxiety, or periods of high alertness. For that reason, sensitivity to sound should not be treated as evidence of high intelligence. A person may take in more environmental data, yet still struggle to organize or ignore it. When too many signals compete for attention, the nervous system can become overloaded and exhausted. The important question is not how much you notice, but whether your brain can decide what deserves attention and what can safely fade into the background. Procrastination is not always simple laziness, because the brain may continue working on a problem before visible action begins. This can be incubation, when stepping away allows ideas to connect in the background. It can also be strategic delay, when someone intentionally waits for better timing, more information, or stronger focus. But procrastination can become avoidance when fear, discomfort, or self-doubt keeps a person from starting. When this pattern becomes chronic, deadlines, stress, and consequences begin to accumulate. Performing well at the last minute is not proof of high intelligence. Pressure can sharpen attention for a short time, but it can also reduce quality, increase anxiety, and make success depend on luck. The key question is whether the delay improves the work or simply postpones discomfort. A useful pause creates insight. An unhealthy delay keeps repeating the same problem without meaningful progress or responsible action. Some people can remember a movie quote, a date, or a comment from years ago, yet forget where they left their keys. This does not mean their memory is strong in every area. Working memory briefly holds and processes information, while long-term memory stores knowledge and experiences over time. Emotional memory is likely to preserve details connected to strong feelings. Prospective memory helps us remember future tasks, such as making a call or attending an appointment. Selective attention also shapes what enters memory in the first place. A detail may remain because it was interesting, emotionally meaningful, or connected to a personal interest. That does not automatically indicate exceptional intelligence or superior memory overall. Memory is a collection of systems, not a single ability. What you remember often reveals what captured your attention, not how powerful your entire mind is. Some people experience emotions intensely, notice small changes in tone, or sense tension that others miss. This can help them understand people, but it does not automatically prove high IQ. Cognitive ability refers to reasoning, learning, and processing information. Emotional intelligence involves recognizing, understanding, and regulating emotions in yourself and others. Empathy is the capacity to understand or share another person's experience. Hypervigilance is different because it can develop when someone has learned to monitor the environment for signs of danger. Social pattern recognition also helps people detect repeated behaviors, subtle expressions, and shifts in relationships. A person may read emotions well because past experiences taught them to observe carefully for protection. That skill can be valuable, but it is not the same as general intelligence. Feeling deeply reflects emotional sensitivity, while using those feelings wisely requires awareness, regulation, and perspective in difficult social situations. The strongest sign of an active mind may be the desire to keep learning long after the obvious answer appears. Curious people continue reading, asking questions, and looking for better evidence, even when they already know a great deal. They are willing to admit when they are wrong and update their beliefs when new information challenges them. They can tolerate uncertainty without rushing toward a comforting conclusion. They learn from failure, ask for help when needed, and change strategies when an old approach stops working. This is why intelligence is not only about how quickly someone finds an answer. It is also about the willingness to question that answer, revise it, and keep growing. A flexible mind values truth more than ego and understanding more than appearing correct. Subscribe to Thalvin Psychology for insights into human behavior, self-awareness, and the hidden patterns shaping the mind. Thank you for watching and supporting Thalvin Psychology. Please subscribe, and let's keep exploring the psychology deep within us together.